All right, players are sitting down. I will have to find out who's sitting where. That might be Brian Lupfer. Uh, if I know the mat and deck box that he usually uses and the deck that I think he's running today. But I need to go find out and confirm, so give me a hot second. Oh, never. Okay, I'll say. Unless he's running knowledge, in which case that would be interesting. But no, Blue Gohan sounds right for the thing that I believed he was playing. He got top 4, I believe, at the Michigan Regional, which was no small feat. And that was with restored Gohan before Frisco really made it a thing. So that was a cool series of matches at the time there last year. And then we've got our other player who, give me a hot second and I'll confirm who we've got on the stream here. But that could be Nick, because he was definitely running Orange Cooler. I will return shortly. Let me confirm, folks. All right, that is indeed Brian Lupfer versus Nick Wasinski. So let me fix these names and then. Okay, there we go. So first match of the day, Brian Lupfer versus Nick Wasinski, and I believe we are starting. So let's see how it goes, shall we? Tying those die rolls, good shit. All right. Going into Nick's turn. Checkup drill time and PowerPoint. That ain't nothing for a first turn. I like it. Pass to Brian. Oh, and yes, might want to remember to use that mastery. Everybody might be a little out of practice at this point. It's been a bit. I know some players have been playing more than others, kind of post Worlds and post announcement, but Brian drops a Chi-Chi. Might try to tweak his camera a little bit again, but we'll do what we can. Pass Rejuva head knock to Nick. Steady drill. A couple more attacks. Pass to Brian. I'm really interested to see what's in Brian's build, because I know he settled on this at last minute. Like, he was going to run another version of Restored Gohan again before this event started. And then I think last night he literally decided to finish building this and run with it. And that's a pass. All right. We'll take our time here for a bit. Nick contemplating combat, most likely. Devlo and a fistful of blocks. Like, that is a lot of defense. If he does come in on that hand, he'll, gain some anger and not take damage, so that's not the worst thing that could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if he entered on that, but I'm equally okay with a pass there, because it's just, so little active for him to do with that hand. I believe we're coming in with Brian. It's got a blue clash, a couple of blocks, and Piccolo will hit the table, which, I'm going to say that's an excellent choice. I would guess that I'm glad to see Nick running stuff like Deblo for sure, but I would guess that overall his build is pretty energy heavy. Nick draws Sphere, block, and a tug, which is pretty good, I say. So I would guess that Piccolo is probably about to die. Yep. That was a good pull. Again, it could have just as easily been peeled off the top of the deck too, obviously, but also glad to see Nick running tugs. Not surprised. It's that kind of environment. Allies have kind of definitely taken their place in the field as Set 7 has evolved, so... and Brian will throw a Draining Blast for a bunch, which Nick will immediately time. Nick has nothing but defense left, so he's going to gain anger with his secondary effects and then just let it ride. Sit down, sir.
Hello.
Turn on your microphone.
Hello, hello.
All right. I believe that's good. Mike Ingersoll is joining me.
Yes.
Let me make sure.
Officially, maybe.
Yeah, that looks good.
Is the red light on?
That's true. Resident Dragon Ball Z Master of Ceremonies here at Eternal Games in scenic Metro Detroit, Michigan. Yeah. And Nick's coming in. So let's see what Brian grabs, and then maybe we'll take another glance at Nick's hand once he... So we've got Sphere, Physical Block, some other stuff.
A typical Nick Wasinski defensive hand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to guess Nick's build is pretty defensive in general, but he has drawn a lot of blocks this game, so, like, he both probably runs a lot of them and, like, has hit, like, almost all of them so far in his top, like, few sets of cards. It's really been something. And Brian will go grab Tien, which I like this thing about the way Brian chose to go with his build was like running the attack allies and kind of changing it up a little bit from how the restored Gohans have been running.
Yeah, plus blue is inherently a little more aggressive, so you can get away with that.
Yep, yeah, for sure. And so Nick's leveling up immediately with the Mastery, grabbing Steady Drill back with the Mastery and shuffling everything else in. And now he's a cooler level 2, which, as we know, is the cooler that makes shit happen. So that level is no joke. And Brian will overpowering, finds something that should be stopped by Steady. Yep. See who he goes for. All right, yep. Like that.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Both one more Plinky attack and, protect the rest of the board. Brian did lose Piccolo last combat to a well-timed Tug of War.
I see that.
From Nick's hand.
Yeah, Icarus is really good to... just sneak a little damage in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he doesn't quite do that here, but the other cool thing that he doesn't restore it is if you time that attack right and the rejuve hits just so, you can set up another amazing draw for, like the next turn or whatever.
Yeah.
But in orange or blue, like it's still just good for, healing. And there's a second tug, so maybe the same tug since he did play the first one from hand also. So that he might. I'm not sure what Nick's quantities are on that, but. I would guess probably 2 or 3.
I would expect at least 2.
Yeah.
Given the Gohan meta.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But the allies keep coming, folks. Can't keep Brian's friends down.
I'm thinking that's why Nick entered in the first place.
Sure, yeah. The combination of definitely being able to remove another ally from the field and securing the anger for Cooler 2, like, even if Nick doesn't accomplish anything else that turn, that's a good enough reason to attack on its own.
A really strong play.
Yeah, so he should be just fine. And that did just barely crit. I don't think Nick has anger currently, so not going to quite make a deal, but it's damage on the board. And Brian's sitting on a blue Clash, which I'm pretty sure is going to go through. Oh, and Nick's got a blinding. I was like, what is that card? That's World's blinding energy move. So Nick could choose to bail here. I'm assuming it's either that or cooler power, and he's just deciding, how afraid I am of the next thing Brian's gonna do.
Yeah.
Brian,
Without knowing what Brian
rifling.
has, I'd almost go with the cooler power just to.
Oops, that's not what we want. That's us.
Hi.
Yeah, the lighting on Brian's side of the table is a little weirder. I might still try to tweak that between rounds, but
Slight technical difficulties.
These things
you go.
happen. Yep, there's a cooler. I'm 50-50 on that. Like, I don't think that's the wrong move to play, but I don't think blinding to get out there would have been wrong either. So I'm okay with it. It's just a judgment call kind of thing. You have to make a decision at the time and go for it. And now he's going to get out. So ultimately, I would say, and if I were Brian, knowing that the overpowering it had gone through, I probably would have just gone for the Clash there.
Oh, yeah.
But, he chose TN, which is fine, but, like, not necessarily the thing I would have done in that scenario.
But he still has it in his hand now, so.
For sure. Yeah, he held on to it.
I guess that was his
I guess he
thought
also
process
had that blanketing, which I think Chi-Chi would have had plenty of stages to pay for that. I would have liked that, too. Probably overthrowing TN's power right there.
He might have drawn that off of TN.
Oh, off of TN. Yeah, you might be right. In fact, I think you are correct, so, never mind. What do I know? Brian's sitting on a blue Betrayal and that blue Clash, a couple other fun items.
I think he's in a pretty good position right here.
All right,
Yeah.
going in. Here comes a Gohan.
Yeah, what do you take here? Maybe the blind.
I'm not sure what's in Nick's discard pile, so, that's an excellent question.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, there you go.
okay, yeah, that's fine. Solid, aggressive play. This is clearly a turn where Brian's going in, so why not? And then on to Nick.
Ooh.
Again, just the ally hate train never ends.
Yeah.
So there's a blue Betrayal. So long, steady drill. For a stage and a life card.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah. Held off an or stare down. If only that had been in there
Yeah.
a Bulma ago, this combat would have gone very differently. But, actually things should still be just fine for Brian here by the end of this turn. Like, he's not going to want to see another ally leave the table right here, but overall, this turn is going to go okay for Brian.
Yeah.
Like, not perfect, but he may come out with a slight advantage by the end of this turn, which, that's kind of as much as you can hope for on any given turn where you declare.
Yes, for sure.
And that's going to hit straight, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
He'll
So much
hopefully
value in that card
yeah,
right
exactly.
now.
He'll hopefully have cooler at level 1 by the end of this turn. If Nick can't push through to level 3 here, that will be the case, and that'll be a huge advantage. Brian's still got a ton of options. I believe that's a Decapitation is the other card in his hand. Again, I'm not sure what the rest of his discard pile contains, but at the very least, he could reuse a Betrayal if desired. All right, and that's going to hit Raw, so that'll be Crit and Anger down, and Piccolo returns to play.
Yeah.
Nick's passing. There you go.
Uses mastery.
In fact, Brian might have missed that crit there. I think he
No,
did.
he called it.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I wonder if he'll get a head knock here, because the question here is just like, does Nick have another anger in his hand?
Oh, I think you do. You keep him down, and okay.
All right. I actually like that's probably a better play overall, because like just in terms of the unknown, like
And you get to push
Nick
the
doesn't
damage through.
currently have an anger in his hand,
Yeah.
but with 3 cards left, the odds that he would are pretty high. So I don't hate a head knock just for damage, but this will do even more damage. He pretty much knows it's hitting through because Nick's taken all the energy so far, and it'll put him in TN range to do even more damage this turn. So I like that a lot.
He takes the damage.
And say take the damage to gain the cooler anger.
Yeah.
Yep. Which again, like I like that play a lot. That's the most advantage Nick's going to get out of the rest of this combat. So definitely go for it. The extra little bit of pain there is totally worth it.
Absolutely. And now the blue neck beam isn't as devastating.
For sure. Yeah, it's a minor setback now, whereas it would have been like a major slowdown. Like it could in a potential like lose the game eventually slowdown if he had gotten stuck at level 1 at this point of the game. Being a level 2 is going to be just fine. And in fact, Brian looks like
Remember the trigger.
has missed that that neck beam, which we'll see if he maybe remembers. That. Yeah, but that's going to be a whole turn. Oh, again, Nick is a stand-up player, and again, like I said, I think people are going to kind of taking it a little easy today because. It's really more of just like a hangout. We'll kind of bid a fond farewell to the official game as it existed. And Nick's a super stand-up guy, so in general, he's not the type of dude who would hold that against people. But like honestly, he would have been well in his rights to deny Brian that. But I respect the shit out of him for following through after he noticed it. Because Nick had taken a full turn, like he had played cards, he had totally passed.
Already.
Yeah, like. And he did draw fairly quickly, so I'll say that like he might have wanted to give Brian maybe a second or two before immediately taking his turn, but I like the way that went down.
Yeah.
I'm glad Brian caught it, and I respect Nick for
and he knows
for recognizing
they're
it.
two good guys.
Sure.
And it's not like turns past.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely wasn't unfixable, but if Nick had pushed the point, he would have been well in his rights to not have changed levels there. That's a pretty good hand.
Confrontation helps, though. As does that blue narrow escape in Brian's hand.
Another betrayal, some other stuff. Shuffle and cut. We'll see what Nick leads with here. Currently at 0 anger, I believe, so...
Yes.
I mean, I would think a cooler power or maybe just go for the straight supernova.
Is that double supernova?
I'm not sure. He's got an orange energy in his hand that I recognize that lowers anger somehow, but I forget the exact details of what it does.
Yes.
A supernova and another supernova.
Double
yes.
supernova.
So
that's powerful.
And he's got Visage on the board, so like that can push damage on its own, assuming Brian, like depending on what he chooses to do, but I would guess with the betrayal in hand and nothing else to target, he's not going to miss sequence randomly. But I mean, stranger things have happened. All right. And I think that Baba was in Brian's hand. Like I think that's what he pitched for Gohan's power.
I do believe, yes.
Again, I like that. I like holding her for that purpose and not just throwing her out there because...
Why do it if...
Yeah, exactly. I like pushing as much damage as possible at this point of the game. So I like that play for where we're at right now. Checking some piles. I believe it's on Nick to throw Supernova number 1. And Piccolo will catch that first blast. So the other thing about the current state of the board is that even taking this to the dome. And he didn't. All right, he clashed first and just straight up took that Visage. Well, I take it all back. That's a lot of damage that Brian didn't necessarily need to take right there.
Oh, he doesn't have Betrayal in his hand.
Oh, never mind. What do I know?
I saw blue shifting maneuver and blue narrow escape.
Okay. Then I'm just straight up incorrect.
Blue Clash is such a good card.
It really is. And Icarus is going to be just fine there. This game is getting very interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
And Brian definitely missed the crit on that
Yes, he
clash, because Nick would have for sure been a 3, but, even so.
Wow.
Mastery for card and some prevention,
Blue clash.
which I believe that Supernova is probably about to punch through. Although I don't think Nick is cooler powered yet, so I guess he'll catch most of that, assuming he chooses to sequence that way. Yeah, I don't know about... I like a lot of the other things that Brian could have done this turn. I'm not positive about the contents of his deck, but I bet he would have still had a head knock in there. I would have loved to see him fish that out. I wouldn't have minded seeing him just fish out a blue betrayal to take out the Visage and kind of take it easy this turn. Getting in the clash kind of like, he got another ally on the board, which is good, but he also guaranteed that he was going to take a bunch from that Visage. So, and basically put Nick, like he let Nick level with Reckless Abandon. Like he could have gone anti-anger here and kind of chose
really
not to.
Contained him, yeah. Because now he gets double rejuve to just mitigate a lot of that damage he's taken.
For sure. And he knew the contents of Nick's hand, right? Because he confronted at the start of this combat. So he knew that he explicitly knew that Nick had a couple Supernovas and enough anger to level here. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, Brian's got a decent board right now, but I would still say the game is slightly Nick, with both being at cooler level 3 and having dealt that additional Visage damage.
Yeah, that tipped the scales back.
Definitely not unwinnable by either player, but I'm going to say slight advantage Nick here for the moment. Looks like Brian's lost a lot of stuff. There were 2 betrayals, I think, right next to each other, just kind of hanging out in there. I'm going to say, so that's a rejuvenation for cooler power, and now he's going to get his drill.
Be interesting to see what he gets.
Say he could get the one he just healed, but
oh, checkup drill.
I sure don't hate checkup here. Like, it's kind of hard to hate checkup at any point.
There you go.
Yeah, that card lost a tiny bit of power, but just the smallest little amount.
It's still good.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like, it's still incredible, and even discounting the search, like that extra little bit of rejuve in orange is so good. And with cooler, it's doubly good. Like he's got rejuve on top of rejuve. All right, Icarus will hit.
Ooh, the decision. He does not.
Just thinking about it.
Deciding.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. I don't know if that one gets through. That could be some decent damage.
Say, yeah.
Coolers, yeah.
That's going to do a lot. Oh, that's right. He still had the mastery up. I had forgotten that that was still in effect. Yep. Fiddle with some stages and do a thing. Never mind. Just kidding.
I think it's wise to hang on to it just in case.
Yeah, that's fine.
If that is a blue clash, then for sure.
Uh-huh. All right. Passing out. And again, yeah, Nick healed so many cards.
The rejuve machine is too strong.
Yeah.
And then that... Yeah. Decision to attack.
Let's look at piles, folks.
Depends on how many defenses Brian has left in the deck, really.
For sure. And in fact, I would maybe expect Nick to start checking Brian's piles after he looks through his own. Like, he's going to be, all right, what do I have left? And then, all right, what has he got left?
Yes, exactly. Because if you can get that supernova through, you're in a really good place.
For sure. And again, even if like Nick goes in and has a super slow turn, he'll have healed 5 cards by the end of the combat with if he uses cooler and has checkup. So,
yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, but I personally would have liked to see him be aggressive there. Like, I think he might have been able to, if not win the game that turn, like lock up the game right in that combat. Back to Brian to consider life. Things are like he's in a corner a little bit here. Still not unwinnable, but like he's in a bit of a
He's got
bind
lot
right
of work
now.
to do.
Let's try to go back over here and see what we can spot. Definitely a clash. He's got
Blue crouch.
a sobering hammer and something else. The hand
Two
is
blue
rifling Fast and
crouches?
Furious. I think that might be true. Yeah, it sure looks like it. Nick, I think, kept the energy catch.
He did.
Yeah. Which, again, if you're going to pass there, I like that, especially since he can heal the supernova when entering.
Yes.
So I agree with that choice for sure.
Yeah, it was another one of those choices that could go either way.
Energy catch might be a slight liability, technically, if the stage damage it adds puts Tien within attack range.
Yeah.
But not so much that I wouldn't have kept it there. So I'm still fine with that. And Nick drawn up and like I don't like this hand as much as the one he had last
No.
time, and it's still technically a 3-card hand.
And neither does Nick.
If Boma doesn't leave the table,
Yeah.
right? Because he can't dismissal there. So yeah, I like that pass better than the
Yes.
other one. There's a neck beam. Clash is still hanging out. Decapitation, which gives
maneuver.
like that decapitation can be basically anything at this point.
Yes.
And yeah, Omni block
So he is entering.
to Nick. I believe got energy catch, sphere, and setup and drill. So
Yeah.
not a great hand for Nick here. And we'll lead with Icarus, I believe.
It would seem, yes.
And this is kind of the kind of thing, like if Nick had gone in basically 2 turns ago, he would have known he had a pretty good hand, and would have pushed an advantage. Whereas like kind of sandbagging for 2 turns, he basically gave Brian time to draw into something really worthwhile, and he landed on junk here a little bit. So this will be Brian's comeback turn if he's got one.
That's the risk you take.
So we'll see what happens. That's Brian's turn to rifle through piles.
Yeah, it depends on if Brian can get Gohan down to
For sure, yeah.
stages.
Yeah, Nick doesn't even have an attack to push through. Like, he will ultimately be coolering, because why not? But Piccolo will catch that straight up, so it's not going to push through for damage. Again, Nick will have healed 5 this turn, maybe more with Cooler's constant power, but...
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Gohan's power. Okay.
And I don't know about that necessarily. Not using Gohan's power or using it for that card, but specifically discarding the decapitation.
Yeah.
I still would have really liked to see him...
That gives you a lot more options.
Yeah, I would have still
than-
really liked to see him materialize a head knock somewhere during this combat to ensure Nick's anger was at 0 or close to it by the end of the
Well, plus,
turn.
he knows he still has that orange catch, so
Yeah.
he can get around
Yes,
that
for
damage.
sure. I mean, I'm mostly okay with that tutor and using that card, but yeah, I would have really liked to see him keep that decapitation.
Because you really could have done that. I mean, I guess he knows the discard pile better than we do, but
Sure.
there's 2 head knocks in there, and that's never a bad thing.
Yeah, for certain. There's going to be some rejuve, although it will give a slight debuff to Brian's own attacks because now his mastery modifier is off.
Yes.
So everything he's throwing just got a tad weaker. But I'm still fine with doing that, like with tuning Ox King at this point.
Well, and
The rejuve definitely doesn't hurt.
That's why he did it,
Yeah, he's got to get back in the game a little bit.
and that helps. But I think he's got to stop this one. almost.
Yeah. I totally agree with that as well. And then again, now Nick's...
He can mastery and go to level 4. But
Well, I think he did. I think he mastered this
Okay.
turn, I
Yes,
believe.
yes.
But still, like the point being, he'll be ready to do that next combat if
Yes.
need be. Like he can enter and hit that. And Brian could have easily set himself up to prevent that from happening.
exactly.
Uh,
I still think it's a good swing for Brian on this, though. He
And-
still is getting more damage through than
Sure.
Nick's able to rejuve. And he was able to rejuve
Yep.
6 cards, I believe, 3 allies and 3 others.
yeah. And that Clash did hit, but didn't crit because it does 4 now with
Yes.
Ox King out, reducing that mastery damage.
Yeah.
He's trying to go on again.
Pay no
Nope,
attention to
sorry,
that
sir.
shifting maneuver.
That already happened. You do not need to use Gohan 2 times in a combat. But yeah, Brian did a little damage, but I don't think necessarily more than Nick healed that turn. And like I said, Nick ended that combat with 3 anger, which is as much of an advantage as he needed coming out of that turn. Yeah, I don't love some of the choices that.
Oh no!
Yeah, he kept
Drill.
a
Okay.
Fizz block drill. Yeah, I don't love some of the choices that Brian made that combat. I feel like he could have come in with a slightly higher advantage than he did.
Yes. Okay.
I just realized that that's devouring drill. That's
Yeah,
the
he
promo.
forgot-
Yeah, I was like,
forgot the
oh,
neck beam also.
again.
Yeah.
Well, no, he stopped it, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Yes.
Yeah, he did. He stopped it and he took the clash. No, so yeah, we're good.
Brian thought he forgot it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that devouring drill promo. Yeah.
I like that a lot in this build, actually. It means that Nick is definitely not pure anger, but I like the versatility that it gives you. So I am
think
totally.
he probably plays 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with running that as a 1 of or a 2 of
Yeah.
in this deck that Nick has put together. I like that choice a lot.
For the instances when a neck beam comes along.
For sure.
Knocks him down.
Shifting maneuver still. There's a head knock,
Head knock.
and some other stuff.
Head knock, 2 head knocks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Too little, too late, sort of. And yeah, we'll heal every supernova just to do it, which is just fine by me. Like,
All the
I don't hate
supernovas.
that decision one bit. Nick's deck just got a little worse late game by shuffling those drills in, but now slightly better again.
Yes.
That 2 supernovas have just entered it. So, but they do not shuffle. So
Yeah, there it is.
head knock number 1.
I think he just takes it.
Yeah. And again, that'll be good for damage, but Nick can no longer win by anger, and he's already at level 4, so the anger lowering on it is very inconsequential in that action, and probably for this turn.
For sure.
But
I think Nick's got a really good hand, though.
oh yeah,
Counter
no kidding.
Brian's.
PowerPoint stare down,
Sphere.
and then he's still Boma's still out, so yeah, that dismissal's not going to do a ton. But his hand is still amazing anyway,
Yes.
and he can still bail here. Like if he just if he decided to just like cooler and get out,
Yes.
he would have a super strong life lead, and just take Brian's steam a little bit this combat.
How my boys doing?
Are we doing good?
Pretty good.
I mean, those boys.
Turn. You want to jump in? Turn that microphone towards yourself, Kyle, and let me push the right button. It's this one.
Hi, guys.
A wild Kyle McGrath appears.
There we go. Say something else, Kyle. I think your volume's up
My
now.
IVs are almost perfect.
There we go. Kyle McGrath joining us. How was your first game, Kyle?
Good. I top decked 3 chest explosions that each did 17.
All right. I like that a lot.
That's the pro move right there.
Turns out you need to do damage to win.
This might be the last combat of this game. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Yeah, I don't know if Brian can do a whole lot right now.
At least the last consequential one. Because, yeah, I feel like, obviously, Kyle, you're just joining us, but I think Brian might have lost himself this game just over time with a handful of incorrect micro decisions.
Yeah, just a few small mistakes.
Just kind of going into mediocre combats and then losing because Cooler's power negated it and made it.
Something like that. I mean, he hasn't really been protective of, like, Cooler's leveling ability. Like, it doesn't look like at any point in this game he's prioritized stomping out Cooler's anger.
at all.
And I'm pretty sure that's why he's going to lose this game. Because, yeah, Nick's basically just been, like, he's been playing his deck, like, just rock solidly. I mean, like, following the game plan I would expect he has laid out for it. And Brian hasn't really done anything to test that plan.
Yeah, this type of deck is really Nick's forte. Just control damage, control the pace of the game, outlast your opponent.
Even with Ox King out for Brian, yeah, Nick probably just doesn't care. He can go into every combat and come out ahead at this point.
Exactly.
For sure. And in fact, Brian basically had played Ox King last turn, essentially just a heal for the most part. Like, he put that out, rejuvenated a little bit, and has slowed down the rest of his own combat by dealing a little less than he would have with an attack or two. But yeah,
Versus for 2 or no joke.
sure. Nick about to finish healing 8 here.
Oh, he went.
he leveled down, so combat is over. He's got to pick his single card for hitting Cooler 3, and then heal the rest from the discard pile.
It just puts him in a really good
So I
position
guess
for
the
that.
Visage is fine. I kind of don't even think it matters what he chooses here. Like, I think he's far enough ahead that it probably doesn't make a difference. But
Yep.
So strong.
like, look at that pile.
Yeah.
And I want to say Brian has maybe like 6 or 8 cards left.
Well, now the Supernovas
Right.
coming up in the next couple turns also.
Yeah. Decisions. Look at other stuff. Yeah, we're definitely down to it.
Depending on Nick's hand, this could very well be
For sure.
the final.
And again, I
combat.
think the game is probably over anyway.
Yes.
Like, I can't imagine the series of actions Brian would need to do to close the gap.
What would you guess the life decks are at?
I want to say Nick's probably got like 20 or higher.
easily.
And Brian, like I said, I bet it looks like it's under
or
10.
less.
Okay.
But it's very close to that number. Drills all day. Good drills all day.
Yeah. Nick just barricades himself in and
And a crit in hand to
Waits.
boot if Nick wants to blow up an ally real bad.
yes.
Yeah. That pick's a lot less safe now.
Or I mean even the Chi-Chi just to get the damage through.
Sure. Depending on what the rest of his hand looks
Exactly.
Yeah, that
And how many
that
cards are
3
actually
life
left
cards,
in Brian's
right?
deck.
That
If it threatens to kill him, I bet it could just completely catch him off guard and win the game.
oh, he's asking about how Poir works.
That'd be a little
Yeah,
strong.
Poir cannot copy defensive.
shields,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, he can only copy actions.
Actual powers.
So he could copy a TN or an Icarus if he's low enough. Poir would not copy Icarus as constant, but he would copy the attack.
Yes.
I probably would have kept that over the sphere at this point, but I guess I'm okay with
Nick
it.
loves
He
those
does like his
spheres.
spheres.
Combat,
Yeah.
Right.
Brian's going in.
He kind of has to at this point.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Again, what do I know? And an orange stare down and energy block and another devouring drill, I believe. Brian's got stuff.
Terror. I think.
Energy
Blue
guard?
guard.
I think I saw
Yeah.
Blue guard, yeah.
2 blue guards maybe.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Definitely one. And then Nick still, options for days. Brian's got nothing but Icarus targetable. I mean, I wouldn't mind just throwing the stare down here to kill Icarus if he's going to
Yeah.
do it at all. Like, why not?
Yep.
Take the action away from him.
And you're still in a good position and you can still put it back.
Yep.
I don't know if
At
I
some
like
point.
blocking Piccolo there.
No.
He knows he's got Cooler locked up.
Sure.
But
I mean, he does have the guard in hand, so I'm assuming he's leaning on that. And
Hoping to probably
probably
keep it.
exactly. Probably planning to not mastery with it. But fuck, maybe not. We'll see.
yeah, he does block the power.
That was a blue terror.
So let's see what he's got left. Another blue guard. He's gonna put it to the mastery.
But again, if Blue Guard's the best card he can search for right now, I think
Yeah.
that kind of tells us
What are you
everything we
hoping
need to
to
know
draw?
about what's about to happen.
Oh, it's a tug.
And then that tug of
I say,
war.
yeah, he can kill TN here if he even wants to take one more action away from Brian.
Right, that might have even been his.
Undoing.
I think you
Get
do.
himself down to 1.
Yeah. If he hits Tien here, he effectively takes away Tien and Poir. Yeah,
Yes.
I was gonna say, because now that Icarus is gone, Poir is out of things he can copy.
Aw.
That was rough. Like that was
Okay.
a shit cherry on the top of
Yeah.
Brian's poopy cake that he did not need to see right there. Yeah, I feel for Brian here. Basically doing the end of life discard ruffle. It's like
What's left in the tank? Just pitch your mastery and play the game. Let's see what you get.
bargaining.
Spin to win.
That's where we're at. He's just asking Nick about actions he still has remaining.
Yeah.
Gohan.
All right, he's Gohaning, which will draw one, and then
And then he
looking
gets to
for some
search
other
for-
thing. Well, he's got a clash in there, I think.
He's got a blue head. Yeah, okay.
Decapitation. All right.
Decapitation.
He could put himself at 0. I don't know what he'd search for with that. Betrayal, I guess.
Oh, throw a card.
So if he takes a head knock with it, then it's just gonna be stopped.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was gonna say. Is that yeah, he didn't do another attack. Nick got rid of Icarus at the opportune time. So
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure what that. You know.
If he still had Tien and Puar, this would be.
Yeah, exactly. He would have pushed some damage. Yeah, like still not enough,
He
I don't
is at
think,
0
to turn the
right now.
tide.
Is he at
But
0?
yeah, he's at
Training
0 right
class,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that decapitation basically does nothing.
Yeah, it's
But you know,
Case of
again,
less in his deck.
yeah, exactly.
true,
Like
too.
he's the tank is pretty much out of gas.
these are the death throws right here.
Picking the cheese off the box.
Just go get a focused attack that gets through your defense shields. Oh wait, wrong Z.
He'll heal a couple friends again.
Alright.
Now it's Brian's turn to make his deck really shitty near the end of the game. And yeah, Nick will stop that straight up and heal even more.
Friends.
The cooler machine.
Those cooler decks aren't dead until they're dead.
He's
Uh-huh.
got 10 cards left.
He's got another
There's the
tug, I think.
supernovas.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
two supernovas and
Yeah.
that devouring drill, which
Devouring Drill basically
okay,
useless.
sure. I mean, I don't know what else he's gonna do with that. Might as well play it. But
I mean, I almost think
I
he'd
want
go
a deck.
in
I
here.
want Nick to ask for deck count right now, and then I want him to
did.
go in.
Throw supernovas.
He did at the beginning of the turn.
Yeah.
Brian's got 10 left.
It's a dumb little nitpick, but if knowing you're going in, I would have kept the Devouring Drill in hand.
I agree.
Just-
No, I
scare
know.
the opponent a little
Like I'm racking my brain thinking what thing he could possibly use it for, but still instinctually I would have kept it.
Yes.
It's gonna drop the surprise orange destruction here.
That's right. Maybe he runs possession drill. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's like a legit play. Level into 4, go for possession, pitch it for some extra cards.
If he levels into 4, he'll get an extra card in deck.
Also true.
Yes.
He's definitely not looking to go to 4 here.
No, he's looking to finish him right about now.
Say that looks like 20 something.
Right.
16. All right.
Given the life deck lead and the amount of firepower in his hand,
16 to
he
10. Nick's lead.
could throw everything and
Yeah.
probably win.
I think you really could.
I mean,
get Tug in there
I
now.
really don't like putting himself at the mercy of another random draw. Yeah.
No,
all right.
right.
All right. I like it.
That's a good call.
We're going in. Brian's got
Shouts to it.
stuff.
Yep. Tug, Piccolo.
Chaozu,
Oh,
I
he
think.
spheres it.
Sick.
So strong.
That was funny.
He's got 11 cards now.
I'm using the rest.
Yeah, that was really wow. He's still fighting.
Sure. Sure. I say yeah. Why not? All right. More potential healing. Yeah.
Way to eat up that burning aura drill, though.
That's right. Yeah. I say if there was a card that he wanted that to be used on, it might as well be Sobering Hammer.
No, if he does have decapitation, then it
And again, Nick's in here now, so yeah, exactly.
He already used
Fire
the
every bullet you've got. Just
Yeah.
shoot until you can't shoot no more.
where it's the slap fight part of the game.
Oh, I saw the other card in Brian's hand. It is a time.
All right.
Okay.
Failed search on level 2.
Yep.
Oh, man.
No, he got a
Feels bad, man.
shifting maneuver.
Oh, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
He did get a card.
I was worried there.
That would have been way funnier though if he had.
So that's the stack.
Yep.
Yeah, I say. That's what we got.
That still ended up being a pretty good game.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, unfortunately, just Brian made enough like early mid-game decisions that I didn't quite agree with. Like I think if he had made his game plan in terms of responding to the things Nick was doing,
Yes, especially the anger.
yeah, if he had been a little more calculated and trying to slow Nick down as opposed to just super focusing, like I don't think he ever escaped the idea like I'm just gonna keep building my board and
Yep.
putting allies down and everything will be fine. And it
Well, I
didn't
think
quite
he could
work
have done
out.
that while at the same time controlling
Yeah.
Nick's
I
anger.
assume at some point early in the game he had an opportunity. He could have used his level 2 power into a head knock.
Yes,
Really
and in fact, that's
Exactly.
the single action I criticized the most. I was like, you're not even planning to end this turn, like putting any pressure on Nick's anger at all. You're just gonna let him go wild, huh?
he didn't even focus on
and it
that.
was
He
that,
coulda-
like,
he coulda
that-
kept that chain going. For a
Yeah,
long
that
time.
pivot was the thing that, like, in a turn, like, you could see Brian's psychology there, where he's like, I'm gonna Gohan's power. A head knock would clearly be beneficial. And I think he might have had enough knowledge to know that it was going to go through, too. Like, I think he had confronted earlier that turn. Like, he knew that Nick had a ton of anger and couldn't stop it, and instead he just got a blue clash to make his
Went
board
for the
bigger.
biggest number.
And I was like, yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the way the game works, right? Nick made solid, like, other than being a little passive, I wouldn't say that Nick did a single thing that I disagreed with that game. So he played really well. Brian made a couple of mistakes. And that's how games are won and lost. So that's the thing.
Nick's a strong player. turns
For
out.
sure. Yeah, no joke. Double Worlds invites.
Right.
That dude knows what he's doing.
That's a small club. Right.
For sure. All right.
This is definitely his kind of deck. Too.
I'm going to pop up here.
How'd you do, Phil?
Wave to everybody. Mike ran off to finish the round. Kyle, that's Kyle's arm. There's Kyle's face. Phil's over here somewhere. All right. We'll be back for round 2 pretty soon. Did they call time?
I don't think so. I don't even know. If
Mike's phone did something, so I'm thinking that might have been what happened. All right.
we
Round
just-
2 will
can we just
probably
leave it on
start.
and Keep just bullshitting.
We could. Actually, for right now, I'm gonna put up the I'm gonna put up the thing and try to tweak the other camera again a
Okay.
little bit. So yeah, we'll be back with round 2 pretty soon. Don't go anywhere.